right, guys, 3 matches down on the night. First one, Envy, 3-2 victory over Elevate. TCM, get 0-3'd by Orbit.
Got the hands.
Rise Nation, also
Got the hands.
receiving some hands tonight. Key player from Optic Nation in your eyes.
That series, Vetoes.
And Bose.
Played very, very well on Hardpoint, top frag, then going into S&D, unbelievable performance there. Uplink, yes, slacked a little bit, but still was making some good positioning plays, opened up the map for Ricky to get the tide towards the end of the game, force OT.
Yep.
And then as a team, collectively, that 23 seconds was just untouchable.
Optic Nation's 2-1. Optic Gaming, though, is 2-0. They're facing also an undefeated Faze team who had their premiere last night, going up 1-0 as they were able to take down Elevate. So now we see Faze, who have not dropped a game, Clayster, Attach, Enable, and Zuma, facing off against the juggernauts of Advanced Warfare, Optic Gaming. Of course, you know this crew. Scumpy had his birthday this week. Happy 20th, Scump. Crim 6, Karma, and Formal. And when you look at these two squads, kind of break it down for me, Ben. How does each player match up?
Oh, it's awesome. This series is going to be great. Honestly, the only thing I think a lot of people are going to be looking at on the minimap, on the scoreboard, is going to be Clay versus Formal. We talk about, you know, 2 best ARs in the game, the 2 names which are always going to be put together. You know, the argument really is, you know, who else is on that list of top ARs? There's a big old list that you can kind of include, but Formula and Clay for me are just absolutely phenomenal. And you know, it's kind of Clay going up against Optic. There's that kind of background story as well there. And you know, Clay with the team he has right now, I'm excited to see how this goes. And then of course you look at Attach, Scump, those kind of players matching up against each other. High progressive SMG is going to be in your face. The ARs opening the lanes for the SMGs kind of cleaning up where the ARs can't get the kills. It's going to be just awesome. They're the 2 players which, or the 4 players rather, which I'm really looking at this series.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how awesome it was to see Denial win COD Champs, to see Clayster and Attach really leading the way. When it came down to the MVP fight, I think those were the 2 names that were the front runners.
Yeah, I mean, Clay at Champs, like, a lot of people looked at Attach and said, yeah, he's played MVP material. But when you broke down exactly how Clayster played in every single game, his consistency was the reason. It really was the reason that Denial won Champs. It was phenomenal. Plus, you know, the in-game leadership he provides, that's another key. You know, he's going to be hyped for this game. You know, look at plays like Zuma as well in the SMG category. So aggressive.
Of course, on this Faze roster, you got the gold medalist from 2014. That is Clayster from X Games. Zuma and Enable finished with silver medals at X Games this year. They knew they needed to make a change if they ever wanted to finish on top, and they went after the biggest dogs they could find there in Clayster and Attach. Honestly, I didn't know how this team was going to fare. You know, I think Slasher was a big key in the past for Faze. I think Clayster, though, definitely one of the few people that you would pick to sub out in that AR position at any time. This is the strongest Faze roster we've seen this year.
If you had to pick a player that you were going to replace, you know, Slasher with, if it isn't going to be Formal, it's Clay. It really is that simple. And this squad, really excited what they're going to do and how they're going to play throughout this whole season, you know, simply because it was a team made specifically to try and shut down Optic Gaming. Optic right now so dominant. Had a pretty slow start though, Chris, to the Pro League. Not exactly convincing performances that a lot of people may necessarily be used to. You kind of look at the maps for the series, kicking things off, a Hardpoint Drift, a map which, let's be honest, Optic haven't looked solid at. So yeah, I look at that and I think, all right, Faze with a great opportunity to start the series strong.
How strong is Faze at Hardpoint Drift, though?
We don't know. We don't know that. That's something that we're really going to find out on the fly, but I feel like it's a good thing to be playing Optic on a map they're not the best at.
Right.
You have to take those small
You're not playing them on retreat.
Right. You're not going to, you know, go into it knowing it's their best map. You're going into it knowing they've struggled so far in the season, and you're going to build morale on that as well. You then look at map number 2 as a Search and Destroy Detroit, a map which Optic, you know, Season 1, Season 2, pretty hit and miss on.
It's a 50-50 coin toss.
Yeah, pretty much. So you kind of look at that and you go, all right, well, maybe we can go 2-0 up. Then map 3 is an Uplink Comeback, which, again, previously we kind of looked at and was like, yeah, this is Optic's strongest map.
Like, you don't beat OG on this.
Then the spawns changed over to the green spawn, and ever since then, Optic kind of looked a little bit slow on it. They weren't the quickest on it. and they went on, I think it was like a 4-event spree where they didn't win it at all. So it was absolutely ridiculous. Hardpoint Solar is game 4. That, I think, is heavily stacked in OG's favor. And then a Search and Destroy right at the end, which for me is a bit of a coin flip.
All right, I just got word. Thank you, Chandler.
What we got?
We got our host vetoes.
Okay.
Now, before I tell you the answer,
Okay.
I want you to guess. If you're Optic Gaming, if you're Faze, who do you veto?
Formal. It's either Formal or Scum, but I feel like for the maps that you're going to see, in this series, I think it makes more sense to veto Formal.
If you're Optic Gaming, who do you veto from Faze?
I feel like Clay would be a solid bet, but then Attach being, well, I guess he's actually West Coast, so that would work out pretty favorable for them. So you'd probably go for someone that's really far east. Zuma? Probably not Zuma.
It's Clayster and Formal.
Yeah, the two original
Stick with your
ones.
gut, my friends.
Yeah, the two original.
So,
that makes sense.
So neither of these players are playing on host. So just keep that in mind. If you're at home, you're a number cruncher like JP, you like to focus on this bow battle. So let's get into the games, Chandler, if you have it. What is the breakdown? Who is hosting what?
So FaZe are going to host game 1 and 3. So FaZe are going to have a Hardpoint Drift, which Optic have been struggling on. Gotta love that, and that's going to be on a Zuma host as well. So you're going to have one of the high-progressive submachine gun players on host. That's key for them. Really big. Then Optic's going to go ahead and host a Search and Destroy Detroit, which is, good. One of their slower maps, I guess, a 50-50, so they'll have an advantage there. Game 3, though, an Uplink comeback, no surprise whatsoever. FaZe goes straight after that map. So, really, as much as it's strange to say, there is actually a really big possibility that FaZe could come out in 3-0.
We're going to a game 5. We're going round 11. Are you kidding me? Uplink comeback. I'm still giving that to Optic.
Off host?
Off host.
Off host.
Actually, Zuma's your host, and we saw what he did last night.
For me, that Search and Destroy Detroit is huge. And also,
FaZe
how good is FaZe?
did not look super powerful. The final score looked great. Did not look super powerful in the match against Elevate last night.
In comeback?
Yeah.
Really?
So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I know what I'm getting out of Formal. Formal is on top of your base. He is slaying out. Clay could not get into that power position last night. He kept getting knocked off.
If Optic can take, that Hardpoint Drift, then I think they'll win this series without a problem. Because that Hardpoint Solar on host, there's no way they're going to lose that.
I'm in the lobby.
I'm excited for this because this is really, we can't stress it enough. It is the game which everyone has been waiting for. How good it really is. For all we know, OG could come out and just 3-0 FaZe and make it look easy. And then we're sat there going, oh, well, maybe this FaZe team isn't as strong as we thought. Maybe Optic really is that much better than everybody else. Or if FaZe come out and 3-0 OG, we're sat there going, okay, this makes everything a little bit more interesting now going into the rest of the season because that FaZe OG rivalry really has been the story of AW. You look at kind of all the finals and all the competitions. It really has been those two locking it down for the most part ever since the beginning of the game.
Guys in the chat, let us know. Is it OG? Is it FaZe? Just type it in. Let us read this crazy wall.
There's a couple of red militias, but there's probably a big old green wall in there somewhere.
Here is our predictions. As casters, we have been weighing in on every single match. We'll be doing it throughout all of Season 3. OG. I wanted to pick FaZe.
You did.
When I heard that I was the only one going FaZe, I went back to OG.
You immediately switched. Honestly, I sat there this morning. Max sent me a message saying, hey, I need your predictions. I asked for, all the games. And, of course, FaZe OG at 9 p.m. And I sat there and I was like, well, obviously we're doing this to try and win. It's a competition between all the casters here at MLG, and you have to kind of take some risks.
Yeah, there may or may not be some money on the line.
You have to take those risks, right? And I feel like this is one of those games where if you go against the grain and get lucky, you could potentially walk away with it. And everyone kind of played it safe, I think, and went with Optic Gaming because that's expected. Because we really don't know what we're going to get with FaZe.
Exactly. It's expected. The prediction,
you have to play that safe, right?
None of us would be surprised if this goes Game 5 FaZe or even Game 4 FaZe.
Right.
I don't think you're going to see a 3-0 over Optic Gaming, as weak as Optic Gaming has looked so far in Season 3.
Dude, honestly, I just look at the maps, and I'm... even Solar Hardpoint, the two teams were scrimming yesterday, and it was an even split, 2 maps each.
This chat has a lot of Green Wall fam, but I'm seeing a lot of FaZe in there, man.
Red Militia's in there too.
I think we found the juggernaut roster that could compete.
I mean, Clay has a lot of fans as well. Like people love watching, Clay play. The storyline again of him playing against his old team is always a good one. Enable filled in with Optic as well, part of the year.
Yeah, Enable's won a title.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's that as well. It's great. It really is.
I'm excited. It's getting going right now as our players are all in the lobby. Drift Hardpoint going to be your first in the best of 5 as we take a quick peek at the full 5-game lineup. Search and Destroy Drift. Going to be Search and Destroy Detroit, as you discussed. Going to be game number 2. Then we'll see Uplink Comeback. Game 3, that's the swing game for me. Whoever wins Uplink is going to win this series. It's on Faze's host. You got to give them the advantage there.
I mean,
yeah. Hardpoint Solar, even if Faze is able to take that second one, you think Optic probably going to win that on host. Scumpy running around like a
maniac.
Exactly. 50 bombs potential there. And then, of course, Game 5, Search and Destroy on Riot. It's always a toss-up. Lots of A pushes. Who's got the better defense is going to be the question there. There's your look at all 5 games as we just wait a few moments for the lobby to start up. Scumpy, currently in broadcaster mode, must be switching up some classes.
Yeah, he's going to want to make sure everything is pretty good. Again, Drift Hardpoint as that map number 1. This is so crucial that Optic start well. They played against Envy in their first game, and Envy were in full control the entire game, but they managed to clutch up. They then played it against ISO, and Optic and ISO kind of traded. Last hard point, ISO go clutch, and managed to take it. So they're 1-1 on this map particularly. Faze, did Faze play this map yesterday? I don't think they did.
They play Drift, Hardpoint? No.
No, they didn't. So really, we don't know what we're going to get from Faze. It's completely unknown. For all we know, Faze could come out, never played this map before, and absolutely suck. It's possible. It really is.
Who knows? We're about to find out. Where is it going to go? Game number 1, it's in Faze's hands. They have to win on their host, you got to think, is the mentality for the Faze squad. And Zuma, your key player to watch from Faze, will be their lead SMG with the host backing him. It's all about the battles, though, in my opinion, especially on the outdoor hills. And this first one, it's going to be chaos with everyone running straight to the middle of the map. Who's your player to start with, Ben? Who do you want to watch at the kickoff here of our Juggernaut battle?
As I talked about it before, this for me is just Formal versus Clay. It's just the big fight internally between these two players is massive. You could flip a coin for who you want to watch first, either Clay or Formal. They're going to be the players I imagine we're going to be on most with for the entire game.
I'm going Formal.
You going Formal?
Matthew Piper.
All right.
Last man to join the lobby.
Well,
first man to get a kill.
First man to get a kill, Chipotle says no.
I agree with Chipotle. The odds are never in my favor. And there you have it.
Second.
Should have taken it. Enable. Able to get that first blood. And there's Clayster winning the first one-on-one. What's up, baby?
All right, Clay. Let's see if he can try and get the kill off the player on the hard point. That's going to be Scump, I believe, and he's able to pick up that kill as well, so off to a pretty decent start.
And he knows Formal is just going to be charging him. Clay, that time, shutting down Karma. Scumpy trying to rotate around, and he is going to find Clay up top. Clay able to do the damage, and now we go over to Enable. I want to stay on board with Faze for the start of this, because we've seen Optic Gaming on Drift, have not seen Faze playing on this new map in the new game mode. Already, though, you see a lot of battles out. Zuma even rocking one.
Yeah, surprising. Zuma really very aggressive with his SMG. You expect to see him just go kind of crazy with it, but Attach going to be on that hard point, and Faze do have that early lead. Nothing really to worry about. It's just the first hard point. And as this hill rotates, it's going to be Optic who have control. And, we broke down Drift Hardpoint the other day on the esports report, how important number 2 and number 5 are in terms of the hill locations. It's so important, but Faze are just going to go straight through, try and break it down. Crim, last man alive, he's going to fall. And that was a picture-perfect break right there from Faze.
Only positive player right now for Optic Gaming is this man, Crim 6. Most titles in Call of Duty history, and he earned that this year. Many of them with Optic Gaming. Is going to rotate through after a nasty 2-piece. Will be able to break in, have the bow out, calls it out. Scump going to try and rotate over with the ASM-1. He's going to be cut down. Let's find Formal if we can. And Formal sitting at 7-7 is still looking to heat up. The scoreboard double in favor currently of Faze.
Yeah, and Clay winning the majority of those long-range gunfights at the moment. 10-4, first play to hit those double digits. And we'll see if he can try and continue that. Enable just with a bit of a slow start as of right now, a 5-9 from him as well. Karma was 5 and 7, but he just boosted himself up to 6 and 8. Hardpoint, of course, rotated across now. Clay taking his time, teammate in control of the hill, and that's going to be attached. And really, you have to see Scump try and break it, and that's exactly what Scump does. Just blitzes into the hardpoint, shuts down attach, and now OG have control once again.
I've been kind of hanging on board with Claser for a while to see how he rotates with the bow. Wasn't able to provide the cover they really wanted. Scumpy knocked out of the hard point after breaking in the first time. How does he get in the second time? Still manages to get the kill. Karma's up. He falls. Formal last man standing. Great break. That was Claser in there. Only Enable could end his little spree. And as you look, Crimsic still the one heating up, but the rest of the Optic members sitting at negative. Scumpy hasn't been able to get it going with the ASM-1 yet. I'm wondering, will he ever pull out the bow on this map?
I don't think you'll see Scump do that. I think, yeah, he's struggling statistically on the scoreboard, but you look at some of the kills he has been getting. He shut down attach a couple of times on the hard point, opened it up for Crimsix to go big on that second hard point as well. And they have reduced that gap just a little bit. It is still Faze in control though. Attach on the hard point at 12 and 9. Karma's going to go around the outside with the ASM-1, just making sure that no one is in that corner. So smart play from him, but desperately looking for more kills. Optic have complete control of the hill.
And on board with Karma still, the only two-time world champion. Peeking out, there's attached. Great snapshot from Karma. His teammate Scumpy sitting inside the hard point. And Karma doing a nice job protecting him for now. Scumpy feeling the pressure, still picking up points for Optic. They have brought it within 2. As you see, Faze trying to pull away once again. Nice grenade coming in from Karma. Will take out attach. He was so weak, the stun will do the damage. Zuma watching the front window. Tag it up, Enable a little bit. Good hold though so far from Faze as they had a nice angle on the attack. Optic was trying to attempt, and now we're going to see the rotation once again. Who's got the advantage here, Ben?
I mean, look at that mini-map. Everyone just basically blitzing over. It is going to be Faze who have it relatively early, because you have to remember that Avalanche is going to be inbound, and just as I say that, Enable with a team kill there on Zuma, that's going to throw it all away, and Optic going to just blitz through into the hard point and really take the time. And this is why Clay slaying is going to be so big. He's at 18 and 9 right now, Chris. A great performance. Compare that to Formal's 12 and 18. Faze winning all those long-range gunfights. But again, you need to be careful, because around about 8 seconds time, that Avalanche is going to drop, and you need to make sure you're not on that snow side of the map. And right now, that's exactly where all Faze members are right now.
Tommy Zuma playing from Long Island. Claser a lot closer than Formal here on the East Coast. So you got Zuma locking it down. Nice shots. And Zuma's been sticking with the bow mostly for these outside hard points. You're going to see Karma running the ASM-1 with Scump.
Karma's doing a great job of just staying alive. That is phenomenal, but unfortunately,
finally
gets hit by a grenade, fired across the map from Enable, and he jumps into the hill. 3 seconds of scrap time.
Look at your scoreboard. Tied up.
Should put him at 100 points, but yeah, the 2-point game going into the second rotation. This is just back and forth between Faze and Optic.
I don't want to count out any of the other teams in Pro League, but I am honestly praying that this is our grand finals of Season 3 to close out AWB for the World Championship.
I feel like it's so fitting, though. It started that way. I feel like it should kind of end that way as well.
Yeah.
These two teams. So, I mean, it was in Season 2 as well. So, it's like, it's just so good.
Crim6 making moves. Spotted down low. Staying alive. Smart plays by Crim. Knows he's got to pick up the time. Will finally get dropped. Karma about to go prone, baiting in some players. Gets one. The trades from Faze, they're keeping Optic off the hard point, but for how long? That's the question. Big kills from Zuma, picks up one. Looking for the second, it's Karma down low. No one from Faze, though, able to break inside. Scump's ASM-1 has been too strong, and Scump is going to help Optic pull away to a 20-point advantage.
Again, though, look at that minimap. It's going to be Faze this time who'll have control of this second money hill. Question, how is Optic going to be able to break it? Clay up top, Formal wins that gunfight. That's a big one. Zuma now left on the hard point, needs to go big because he knows Formal's going to be pushing him from the right-hand side. Turns around, there's going to be 3 Optic gaming plays there. Needs to buy some time for his teammates. Nice play from Zuma. There's a second. Can he find the third? On the heck glitch on the stairs. No, Karma does fall. I think that was Scump with the ASM-1, but luckily did buy enough time for Clay to get onto the hard point. He picks up 2. Natach missing a lot of shots, but does clean up the kill, and it looks as if this game is once again going to be tied as Natach finally does fall.
Zuma is doing work on host, man. He's doing everything they need from him. Clayster slowing down a little bit, but he's still in the action. And Enable has been running amok with the SMG. Sitting at -4, but been involved quite a bit on the hill. Your scoreboard again tied up at 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Optic taking the lead with 10 seconds left. They'll clean up the scrap time. The rotation fight is happening right now, and it was just lost by Enable. At the top of your map, you'll see Formal set up first.
Yeah, nice play from Formal to pick up the first goal. Looking for the second, gets it.
Boom.
Instant headshot from Clay, like a laser beam. Hardpoint's going to be contested, but Formal thinking about now trying to push it because Faze have complete control. Finally, still contested. Formal should be able to trade the kill, gets it, and Optic is trying to build themselves a lead, but instantly contested once again. Nice trades coming in though, and Optic keep control of the hill.
I'm so impressed by Formal, not just his accuracy, but the movement you saw there. Never really putting himself out there to take any damage. And he's going to clear the hard point for a moment. 3 fall for Optic Gaming. It was all Faze attached in the kill feed. Scumpy answers back with a 2-piece of his own. Clayster inside the hard point for now. Finally going to be cleaned up. 155, 152. We're coming back down to the last 2 minutes of this game. And the hard point has 20 seconds left before it's going to make its move.
Yeah, and I think Faze are basically going to scratch that, maybe go towards that second to last. Would assume that would be the game plan. But looks like a final contest is going to come in. 4 extra seconds for Optic Gaming. They've built themselves a pretty big lead, considering this game was tied. Now at 21 points. Faze, of course, going to get some initial time, but it won't be much. They need to kill this first wave of players.
This was their first massive hill as well. Remember how well they set up,
Yes.
and you see Zuma in the kill feed, picking up 2. There is the third before he falls. Enable. Second line of defense is going to get dropped. Big kills from Formal. Scum charged in with the 2-piece. Optic Gaming set up to win this now. As we have just 90 seconds still to go, this is where you're going to pick up the majority of your time if you're able to set up properly. Zuma coming in and causing chaos. Enable helping out in the kill feed. Faze takes it right back, and they'll tie up the score.
Such good play from Formal. He got a 2-piece, and then Clay immediately off spawn. He replied with a couple of kills of his own, and this is just back and forth, going into the final 60 seconds of the game. 182 to 177. No one on the hill. Finally, Enable jumps on Attach from down below, looking to cover. Hardpoint's going to be contested, and Attach should be able to win this one. And Faze now with the lead with the final 5 seconds. The 5th hill is going to be where it all goes down. Optic Gaming do have that rotation, but I believe Zuma just picked up 1. Scump able to trade that kill, and Faze picking up a lot of kills in that kill feed right now.
Wow, Attach, Enable, Clay, all in your feed. Final 40 seconds, do or die time for Optic Gaming. Attach inside is the player to knock out. I'm looking at the minimap. Who is it going to be from Optic? It's Karma. Karma gets through. Scump covering. Krim now in your feed. 20 seconds, 29 seconds left. 14-point advantage right now for Faze.
Honestly, someone just needs to wallbang the hardpoint. It's going to be a 9-point game. Time is ticking. 21 seconds left. Scump from around the outside. Helps. Picks up the kill, but he is going to fall. Karma, last man alive, has a huge 1v1 gunfight. Is he going to win it? No, he's not. 1-point game. 11 seconds left. Attach comes in from around the outside. He falls. Optic Gaming could win it. Clay's going to go down as well. Formal jumps up to the hill, and that should be that. Surely with a 3-point game. Optic Gaming steal it at the very end of the match. Unbelievable play right at the end.
That was all Formal right there, man. 205 to 201. Formal wins the 1v1 versus Clay. We said that was the matchup to look out for. He cleaned up Attach as well, who was trying to blitz in. You just saw Faze kind of panic. They were so focused on getting hill time, not the kills. 2 players caught in transition as Optic steals one. Let's look at the stats one more time, though, from this game. Ben, this was back and forth the whole way, but as we take a look at some of the numbers, what stands out to you most?
I mean, Zuma had a great game on host at 44 and 34. You look at the Battle of the Bell there, Formal 35-37. Clay, 39-30. Won that, but for me, it isn't about the numbers. When it came down to that final hill, Karma was lying down, playing for his life. No one from Faze even attempted to wallbang that piece of wood. You have to know, if someone's on the hill, there's no way they're peeking in that situation. Karma is not going to sit up. He's just going to allow his teammates to slay around the outside. If I'm Faze, you have to put some pressure, put some bullets down. You can't not do that. You basically just threw away the game right there.
This is still very early. Team's probably playing the map least out of any in the rotation. I'm excited for this rivalry, and I want to ask everyone in the chat, guys, be respectful, be polite to each other, because I feel like we're going to see this matchup for many moons still to come. And it's great to see a game come down to the final 4 seconds. When we come back, though, we got Search and Destroy Detroit. Will Faze be able to tie it up this time on Optic Gaming's host? We'll be right back.